Energy does not respond to ambition. Energy responds to coherence. Why this matter? It matters because almost every human mistake, every sense of heaviness, every failed attempt at discipline or success comes from ignoring this. You think, I'll push harder, I'll plan better, I'll figure it all out, I'll make the right moves, then energy will come. That's a trap. That's why people burn out. Why effort never seems enough. Why life feels heavy. Energy is life itself. Without it, everything ambition, plans, wealth, relationships, health becomes friction, not flow. You can chase, strategize, fantasize, hustle, and still feel drained, small, stuck. Because your energy is scattered across 10 imagined selves negotiating 10 different futures. No wonder you feel exhausted, insecure, lost. Coherence matters because it restores energy. One self, one focus, one action. No image, no negotiation with the future. Energy floods back. Life becomes effortless, not because the world changed, but because your nervous system is no longer divided. Action becomes powerful naturally. Discipline isn't a struggle, it's a consequence. Presence isn't effort, it's the return of energy. In other words, ambition without coherence, scattered energy, paralyzes, exhaustion, anxiety. Coherence without ambition, focused energy, power, clarity, momentum. This is why forced effort never lasts. This is why chasing imagined outcomes crushes life. This is why trying to figure life out feels heavy. Power is not an ambition, it is in the undivided self, alive, coherent, fully present. When you are one thing, doing one thing for no image, energy floods the system. When you are 10 imagined selves negotiating the future, energy leaks. Energy is life itself, not a resource you can conjure by thinking harder or pushing more. How it moves depends entirely on the state of yourself. One thing, doing one thing for no image. This is coherence in action, when you are fully present, completely engaged in the act itself without thinking about how it will look, what it will get you, or who will notice. You are undivided. Your mind, body, attention, and will are all aligned. There's no friction inside. This alignment creates a free flow of energy. You feel alive, strong, alert, effortless. Discipline and momentum arise naturally because there is no internal resistance. Your energy is fully available to the task at hand, and through it, life flows through you. 10 imagined selves negotiating the future. This is the opposite. You are no longer one self, you are multiple selves, scattered across time, outcomes, and desires. The self that wants approval, the self that wants wealth, the self that wants status, the self that wants comfort, the self that wants safety, and so on. Each of these selves pulls at your attention and energy, creating friction, tension, and leaks. Your nervous system is now divided. You are thinking about 10 different futures, trying to figure it out or control it. Result: energy leaks. You feel exhausted, heavy, anxious. Action feels forced, discipline feels like a grind, motivation never lasts. The difference is presence versus negotiation. Presence concentrates energy, negotiation disperses it. Life feels effortless when your inner self is one, focused, undistracted, unbargaining. Life feels heavy when your inner self is 10, scattered, negotiating, and imagining. In short, energy flows where unity exists and leaks where division exists. That's why coherence matters far more than ambition, effort, or planning. When I say energy does not respond to ambition, energy responds to coherence, I mean this. Ambition is a story you tell yourself. It lives in the future, in an imagined you that doesn't fully exist yet. You push, you plan, you chase, you try to make the future real, but your energy doesn't follow the story. The nervous system doesn't respond to what you want to become. It responds to what you actually are, here fully present. Coherence is when your inner self is not divided. You are one thing, doing one thing, without splitting your mind into 10 imagined selves negotiating outcomes, approval, or image. That's when energy naturally flows. When all the tug of war inside stops, no self trying to be rich, admired, clever, spiritual, safe, then energy floods your body. You feel alive, clear, and powerful. Ambition is fragmentation. Coherence is unity. Energy doesn't come from wanting, it comes from being aligned. Energy responds to coherence. Every thought, every desire, every imagined future you carry in your head is a little leak. The self that wants to be rich, the self that wants to be admired, the self that wants to be safe, the self that wants to look spiritual. 10 selves negotiating, bargaining, strategizing. All of them tug at your nervous system. Your energy is fractured. You feel tired, heavy, anxious. Not because the world is hard, not because life is unfair, but because you are not one. You are 10 people living in one body, trying to pilot the same life. Now, coherence. Coherence is being one thing fully in the present without needing it to be seen, recorded, admired, or justified. Coherence is action that comes from alignment, not from image. The moment you act without negotiating 10 imaginary futures in your head, energy floods. You feel alive, you feel strong, discipline flows, power arises. Not because you pushed, but because the push is gone, you are the push. Fantasized wealth? Paralyzing. Because you are chasing images, not reality. Figuring life out? Heavy. Because you are negotiating with the self that doesn't exist yet. Your thinking runs ahead of your being. Thinking is fine, but thinking cannot create life, cannot create energy. Life and power arise after thinking falls behind action. After your energy, your presence, your body, your attention are all one and coherent. So stop pushing. Stop negotiating 10 lives at once. Stop trying to figure life out. Do one thing. Be oneself. Let energy find you. Coherence is magnetic. It doesn't need effort. Power does not respond to ambition. Power responds to you being bold, here, now, undivided. Every imagined self is a split. The mind does not create neutral thoughts. Every desire, every future image creates a center. The self that wants money, the self that wants approval, the self that wants safety, the self that wants transcendence, the self that wants to be right, the self that wants to be special. Each one says, serve me, but the body has one nervous system, one current of life, one attention. So now life energy must be divided. This division is not philosophical, it is physiological. The nervous system enters a constant low grade conflict, not dramatic enough to notice clearly, but constant enough to drain you. That drain is what you call tiredness without effort, anxiety without cause, heaviness without weight, restlessness without direction. Why the world isn't the problem? People think life is exhausting because society is competitive, responsibilities are many, the world is harsh. That's comforting because it avoids the truth. The truth is harsher and simpler. The world is not heavy. Your inner multiplicity is. When you were a child and prayed for hours, the world was not easier. You were just one. One body, one attention, one action, no self watching the self. Energy flowed endlessly. Nothing has changed except division. Negotiation is the real exhaustion. Look closely at your inner life. Before every action, there is a meeting. Will this help my future? What will people think? Is this safe? Is this the right path? What if I fail? What if I waste time? This negotiation never ends. Because the selves wants different things, so action slows, presence disappears, and energy leaks through deliberation. You are not tired from doing too much. You are tired from deciding who you are supposed to be. Why ambition feels like anxiety. Ambition is not neutral, it is identity driven desire. I must become, I must arrive, I must prove, I must secure. Each must creates tension. Each tension tightens the nervous system. That tightening is anxiety. So ambition feels energizing only in short bursts. Then it collapses. Because it requires constant internal policing. Why you feel like 10 people in one body? Because you are. Not metaphorically, functionally. Each self pulls attention in a different direction. Attention is energy. So energy is scattered. No self ever gets enough. So none of them relax. This is why modern humans feel chronically unsatisfied. They are overstimulated yet under alive. What coherence actually does? Coherence does not remove thoughts. It withdraws belief from imagined selves. You stop feeding them. You stop consulting them. You stop asking them for permission. You act from what is true now, not what might secure a future image. As soon as you do this, the nervous system quiets, attention consolidates, Energy returns. Anxiety dissolves without effort. Not because you fixed anything, but because there is only one pilot again. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are simply not one. And the moment you stop trying to be many, life becomes light again. Coherence is not a technique, it is the absence of inner division. When you are one thing fully in the present, there is no audience in your head, no future self watching, no inner narrator recording the moment, no silent question of, is this good enough? That absence is everything. Because the moment you need to be seen, recorded, admired, or justified, a second self is born. Now there is the one acting and the one watching the action. That split is the leak. Energy doesn't disappear dramatically, it drips through self consciousness, through anticipation, through comparison, through imagined outcomes. Alignment versus image. Image is future oriented. It asks, what will this lead to? How will I look? Will this pay off? Is this the right move? Each question fractures attention. Alignment is present oriented. It asks nothing. It acts because the question itself is true now. That's why coherent action feels light, not easy, clean. You are not dragging a future behind you. You are not carrying a scoreboard. You are not bargaining with life. Why energy floods when negotiation stops? When you negotiate 10 imaginary futures, your nervous system is in permanent uncertainty. It doesn't know which self to serve, so it does the only safe thing. It conserves energy. This feels like procrastination, fatigue, confusion, lack of motivation. But it's not laziness, it's self protection from fragmentation. When negotiation stops, when you simply do, the nervous system relaxes. There is one direction, one signal, one self. Energy rushes back, not because you forced it, but because nothing is blocking it anymore. You are the push. This is crucial. When people push, there is a pusher, a pushed self, and an outcome being monitored. Three centers, broken circuit. When the push is gone, there is only movement. Action happens the way breathing happens. Not because you decided to be disciplined, but because nothing is resisting the act. That is real power. Silent, unannounced, unforced. Fantasized wealth is paralyzing. Here's why. Wealth in fantasy is not money. It's relief, validation, arrival. So now every present action is judged against the future image. The present can never win that comparison. Action becomes heavy. Small steps feel meaningless. You hesitate. You wait for clarity. But clarity never comes. Because clarity is a byproduct of movement, not imagination. You are trying to live in a future body with a present nervous system. It can't work. Figuring life out feels heavy because life is not a problem. A problem exists outside you. Life is you. You can solve a math equation. You cannot solve being alive. When you try, thinking outruns being. Words outrun reality. Maps replace terrain. That mismatch is exhaustion. The final truth. Thinking has its place, but thinking must follow life, not lead it. Power arises when attention is here, action is simple, self is singular, image is absent. Then energy doesn't need motivation. It moves on its own. Not loud, not dramatic, but unstoppable. So, energy is not something you must create. It is something that returns when division ends. Fatigue is not from doing too much. It is from being too many. The moment you stop negotiating with imagined selves, stop feeding future images, stop trying to become, you become one. And when you are one, life moves through you without effort.